All right, and just like we did before, since it's the other kind of curve, I'm going to put some slits in there to help me get that curve. To be really careful because I didn't leave as much fabric as I thought I was going to. I think I trimmed a little bit too much that time. I think I'm just going to get away with it. Really nice and carefully. Just some slits, not too close, just enough to get that bit of give in the fabric. Then fold it over. I like to fold it kind of in the middle and put my clip on there to save my grip a little bit. So fold that corner over. Ooh, there we go. And I'm gonna, again, watch your fingers on the back. I almost got my finger just in. And I'm gonna come up through that corner from the back. Right through that corner. And I think these corners here, I tend to also put another stitch in. This might seem like over stitching for one piece where I'm also, after everything's stitched together, I'm gonna take all the basting stitches out. But I don't like things to shift around before I get a chance to sew everything together. And now you can see that it's lying nicely there, flat against the paper, just from those little slits. And we still got a bit of fabric here. That's what you want really. You still want that tiny little bit, kind of 1/8 of an inch maybe. And then we sew across as usual. Nice bit of Sunday basting. Not the Sunday roasting, Sunday basting. And then you're going all the way across. Nice and easy, not tugging too much. I think it's important with basting not to pull too much. You don't want to pull the shape out of place. There we go. All right, now we're getting to the end and we've got that straight edge there. So that's happy times when you get to a straight edge. And then I'll try to be really careful with the corner here and kind of tuck it in so that you're making a nice tidy corner. I always like to have a quick check. That's a nice corner there. And then just finish it up. Just remembering these stitches are going to come out, so it doesn't really matter if it's beautiful or not. No, it's not too bad. Because once you sew all the different pieces together, then you're going to take the stitches out in the end. Usually if I haven't gone through the paper, I won't take the stitches out, so I feel like it's giving it more security. But if you're of course going through the paper, then you have to take the stitches out. So you can see that's a nice curve there. 2 other curves. I mean, they're not massive curves. Still, that's looking pretty good. That is looking nice. I'm quite pleased with that. That's looking good. So that's that piece done. This piece as well. Having some nice curves. So I did the exact same thing there. Little slits on the smiley ones. Oh, that does look like a smile. And then the gathering stitches on that upper curve here. And then gathering stitches here. That really baste your shape nicely. And I've got one of the shapes that actually fits in here somehow, I think. Which is quite exciting. Ooh, look at that. That's gonna be all right. It's looking pretty good so far. I think that's the one. Or is it this one? I'm gonna have to look at my diagram. I think it's this way. Yep. Oh, that's fitting together really well. Look at that. Oh, I think this project might actually work out. That's exciting. So then you go ahead and baste all your shapes, and I like to put it together like this just to see what it might look like, and it's shaping up quite nicely, I think. All right, time to sew the pieces together. So you choose two pieces that you want to sew together, and it took me a little while to work out the sewing order. And I hold them together, the two pieces, with masking tape. Usually with EPP, with the straight edges, you put the right sides together and then you just sew along the straight edge. But with curved edges, the pieces have to be side by side together like this. Hi, so I've finished basting all the pieces, and now I've put two together. It's kind of hard to decide which ones to put together. I'm sure I'm doing it in the wrong order, but I put the pieces together, matched them end to end, and they actually match up, which is pretty cool. I put some sticky tape on the top to hold them together, just some masking tape to hold them together. Then I started from one end. And it's just like you would do in your normal EPP, just sewing the two pieces together. But this time, instead of having them bent together because they're curved, can't put them together like you usually would. You just put them side by side like this, and then you stitch through. And you just do a little stitch through both sides, like that, and pull through. And usually after every 5 or 6 stitches I do a little knot. And just kind of go like that. It's hard to sew up so close to the camera, I'm telling you. Alright. And yes, I know, I have a very long thread. I get lazy. I don't want to change the thread so often. But I know I shouldn't have it that long. Oop. And so you just take a little bit from each side and through, and you just keep going along like that. It actually creates quite a seamless join. You won't really see the stitches on the other side. So this is actually quite a good way to join your pieces in EPP, English paper piecing. So just like that all the way along. I know, my stitches aren't that neat. And as you can see, that's quite nice. Unless you really pull, you won't see the stitches so much. And so you just keep going on like that. Going through. This is not a fast project, and I'm hoping all the lines are going to connect together. Here's hoping. I really hope so. But even so, even if it doesn't fit that nicely, that would be disappointing. But it's still been fun to make. I quite enjoy English paper piecing. And now I'll just do a little knot. Just kind of a safety thing. So I'll just do a little knot where you put the needle through the loop, like you would just like a normal knot. Just put the thread through the loop and pull it close, and then you have a little knot, just secures it. And you keep on going. All right, see you on the other side. To make sure I match up the seams as best as possible, I put it together with the sticky tape, or the masking tape, and then I start from that seam I want to match and go outwards. So I started here where the seams match, and then I sewed along one side to the end, and now I'm going to do the other end. So that gives me a good chance of trying to get a good matching up of seams. And it's looking pretty good so far. That's not too bad. I think that's pretty good. Matching up quite nicely. it's looking good. I feel like I'm gonna get something out of this. I think it's working out nicely. Quite pleased so far.